All right, it is 7 PM on June 2nd, 2020, and we are going to open the Committee of Committees meeting. In accordance with the Governor's proclamation that's still going on, we can have trustees attending remotely for the purpose of COVID. They don't need a reason other than that. So we will have people attending remotely, at least Dina, if not William, just to say we're staying within accordance with the Governor's proclamation. Roll call, please.
Yep. Committee members Chris Samples,
Here.
John Talbot,
Here.
William Luxinger is absent, Dina Simpson is absent, Jen Christensen,
Here.
Jared Doan,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onabane,
Here.
Clerk Sandy Mazen here, Engineer Matt Hanson,
Here.
and Public Works Supervisor Brett Berge.
Here.
All right. We need a motion to allow Dina to attend remotely.
I'll make a motion to allow Dina Simpson to attend this meeting remotely.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to allow Dina to attend remotely. John seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Roll call.
Dina? Here. Time?
7:03. Okay, report of the officers. So, resident on, Facebook actually made a pretty,
Can we do my minutes?
we just did the minutes.
No, we didn't. We just approved Dina.
Oh, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 5th, 2020 committee minutes.
Second.
Jen makes a motion to approve the May 5th, 2020 committee meeting minutes. Jared seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7:03. Now we'll go on to the other part. We had a resident suggest, with the upcoming date of June 10th, 2020, which could also be 6/10/20, which is our zip code, to have something done for that day. Well, with social distancing and the short time in between, there's not a whole lot that we can do. So we're gonna, next Tuesday, proclaim, 6/10/20 to be Davis Junction Day. And next time it'll happen will be 21/20. So it'll be 100 years before it can happen again, but 6/10/20 is what we will do next week for the Davis Junction Day. And hopefully the resident can be here because she did, I guess she's been a lifelong resident and been something she's talked about previously, and I thought it was a really good idea.
Well, we would've had something if, yeah.
Well, right, social distancing kind of prevents it. You guys tried the 6/10 days, and
We did.
unfortunately, things didn't pan out with the whole social distancing.
We'll try again next year.
So we'll move on to Sandy.
I don't think I have anything. Oh, Village Hall will be closed next week. I am going on vacation. Unfortunately, permits still need to be processed, so I will still be working remotely to do that. But otherwise, Village Hall is closed. I won't be answering the phone or any other means.
All right. Brenda? You have to have a mic.
I don't have anything right now. I'll do it under finance.
Okay. Matt?
All right, project status report. Corey indicated that the contractors are working on punch list items, not complete yet, but they are working on them. The Pacific Avenue, culvert, modifications, contracts have been executed by the contractor. I didn't check with Corey today, but, he said they're at Village Hall for execution, so I don't know if Rick's had a chance to sign them so they can go back to the contractors, or?
They're here in front of me.
Okay, good. The North Junction Road Seal Code is on hold. Same thing for Ogle Crossing, pond channel repairs. Those contracts should be there for you to sign, Rick, so we'll get those two projects going. Nothing to update on microservicing or the, park pond, the big park pond modification. Nothing really happening there. Like I said, contractors are working on the punch list for the water main extension there on Autumnbrook Lane and to the maintenance building. The water tower painting, you awarded that at your last meeting. We've got the contracts sent out to the contractor for execution, so as soon as we get something back, we'll probably get a pre-construction meeting. I talked to Brett about getting one maybe about a month before they intend to start. We're still waiting to hear back on their exact schedule. We did get a call into last week from a company that works for Verizon. We're going to meet out there the 10th on site. They're going to be setting up a temporary tower for the antennas while we're doing the painting on the outside. So I've contacted Brett, made him aware, and he should be out there for the meeting and stuff as well. So, and then the Village Hall assessment. Alan was out there from our office, did the on-site inspection, kind of measured up any changes to the front office and kind of attic area from the last time we kind of prepared the plans and everything. We're getting those revised, and then we're going to start scheduling interviews with everybody in June, whether it's in person or remotely. So. And then, the last thing, we're also going to get a revision back, working on a revision for the water tower, the lettering and the striping, making sure, I know you made that decision already, but, you know, we're wanting to get something back just for one final proof before we give it to the contractor.
All right, anything further?
That's all I have tonight.
Any questions from board members?
I have a question for you, Matt. On
Yeah.
the Ogle Crossings low flow channel change order, from Stenstrom for $6,670. Can you tell us a little bit about that or no?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Chris, I'm
That's
not
all right.
aware of that.
That's all right. Fergie can explain more. I couldn't tell from the drawing whether or not that included any drain tile at all, or did it include 6 feet out?
Yes. Okay, no, this was a price to see if we
Sandy,
wanted to do it.
you have to use a microphone.
Right there.
Sorry.
This was just a proposal.
Yeah, this is not an actual change order yet.
Okay.
This is if we approve it to be,
That's fine. If I don't understand, I assume
Yes.
the people watching don't understand. as
I
well.
assume that too. That's why I want him to explain.
so what this is basically everyone is familiar with the project in Ogle Crossing. We're gonna redo that concrete channel that's all broken up there in that pond that we acquired this season. So the problem we have is that entire area out there is not draining properly. It's not, basically it needs to be regraded. So we are having a difficult time mowing out there, just like Ogle Crossing did when they were trying to maintain it. So talking with Corey, what we're gonna do is, since we're doing this concrete swale basically through there, for a future project, what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie in, I can't remember if it was 4-inch, I believe, 4-inch drain tile into this concrete, as they're pouring it, and then that will stub out towards the west, basically. So when we do eventually get in there to grade that properly, to get it to drain to the channel that we're putting in, the tile is already stubbed, ready to go, because that will be tied into the concrete, so we don't wanna go hacking our new concrete up and doing it. So we'll just tie these tiles into it. They'll stub out, they'll be ready to go, because then next season, whenever we need to get in and regrade that whole bottom and get that dried up, so we can actually maintain that the way we're supposed to. So, and that was a proposal to do that.
So, this looks like they're coming out both sides. Is that,
It might have been, yes. I glanced at it, but
so if they come out on the side to the pond, which is
Mhm.
the side that we really.
To the
look
west,
for,
correct.
Because if anybody goes past it, you could tell they couldn't, mow the center because it's so wet out there.
we got stuck again today, as a matter of
In the
fact.
future, that they could grade that, put the drainage tile underneath and plug into these without additional cost to, plug into the drain itself or the channel itself. This will allow it to feed out. I don't know if we can do this though, because the project was only like 29,000, and is it, what's the amount that you could even, is it 25%?
I do believe so, and
Yeah, I think it's typically 25%,
Yeah.
but,
This is under 25% is my I mean, somebody else do the calculations, because mine are close, but they're not perfect. But I think this is under, if the whole project was 29,000, we would have to present this to the board, and, I can forward the email to Sandy so that she can send it in the next board packet, so the board can consider whether or not they want to, do this cost-saving measure now, as opposed to trying to, tie in at a future date, because there's no drainage from the pond. So that'll be on, I'll send that to you.
All right.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
You wanna just go now?
For what? I don't have anything
All right,
else, so,
I,
go ahead.
I do kinda have something with streets, if you don't mind.
that's fine. 'Cause
Um,
we're already on it, might as well stay there.
So we talked a few weeks ago about the old 550, everybody remembers, and we all kind of agreed that it's not really worth selling, so we sent it to Byron to get fixed. So today we got, a couple of emails back. So the work that they have completed, the reason that it went there, we're sitting at $1,427.87. That is the work that has been completed. Our fear was that once they got into this truck, they would find more things leaking, which they did, unfortunately. So what they are recommending that we do is the engine oil, the cooler, is leaking. They shot us an estimate, labor, parts, everything, $1,361.11. So we already kind of approved the one. I don't know how to go about this, if I need to get how you want to do that, or do we want to continue to put a little bit more money into it?
It's under
So-
his authority. He can-
Is there more, or is this it?
No, we've already,
It'll end up being one project total
Yes,
for
okay.
it, and so it'll exceed it. And
Yeah.
so I can add it to
300
next
bucks.
week's agenda for approval if you get it to me.
okay, yep, I'll talk to them and see if they're okay. Well,
Or run it as an
well,
emergency.
well, no, because we already
It'll
said we
never-
would fix it, so they probably want their money for the first part of the
And we
job,
can
the
send
original.
that.
Okay, all right,
That part can go. We
Just-
can't do
I
both
mean-
That's fine.
parts.
that's fine.
The thing is, if you get it, bring it back here, it becomes a second project, you can authorize it. If they wanna get paid for the first one,
Yeah. I mean, I
It's
don't know,
done.
they're not complaining, they're great people,
Kind
so,
of stringing it along.
yeah.
I-
it is,
Just
but-
put it on for next week.
I've got one in the shop right now, I'm doing half the breaks, it's leaving for 2 days and coming back for the
Yeah.
other half.
Yeah, so I'll,
Sure,
give me that, and I'll put it on the agenda, get the second half on there, so that the total project is,
and we can give them a call tomorrow and kinda let them know what's going on, they've been great people, so I don't think they'll mind.
Yeah.
Was there something else for the box, or was that it?
No, we haven't even got to that yet, this was all just to get basically the engine.
But then
To
you were
stop
gonna-
puking
but you were
fluids
gonna
out.
do something else with the box?
We were gonna just buy a cheap used flatbed and put it on there and make it our water
All right.
truck.
Right.
Yep. So, that's all I have.
The one I found for you in flatbed wasn't that cheap.
No, no, but it was a nice one though.
It was, I like the steps on the back, that's
Yeah,
a very
it's very
nice
nice.
safety piece.
Yeah, so, that's it for me, thank you.
Zipper Street.
And it was off of Ford chassis, it bolt right on. Move back up to the top then to, community development events. Sorry, Jen?
So we have the fireworks, discussion on the fireworks. We need to, discuss how we, if this is something we're gonna full outright gonna do, and if that's it, how we're gonna do it. We need to figure out how we're gonna do parking, how we're gonna, keep people socially distanced. We gotta figure this out.
supervisors had a meeting, and we need direction from the board at this point, we can't.
And my idea is we still have the fireworks, if
Right.
there's still social distancing in place at the time, we ask the people that are there to
respect that.
respect that and social
Right.
So,
distance.
here's the concern that we have as supervisors, is that
Yeah.
we are lone man standing right now, so the amount of people that are going to be coming is going to be exorbitant. I've actually
Okay.
received people contacting us through contact us form on our website, letting us know this is their plan. But the bigger concern then is, how do we control traffic? How do we control bathroom usage? How do we control, there's just a lot of unknowns. And so, we were tossing around ideas, maybe closing down certain areas to see if we can make traffic flow better, and we're just at a standstill. We need direction, what are your guys'
If,
ideas?
I would say we have to kind of look at this,
We've had large crowds for fireworks before, so
But,
that all
but
those.
we
but-
let people get out of their car.
Right.
right, so what we're looking at is, we'll have to see what phase our lovely
we're
governor has us in at
We
that
get some
time, or if he's,
plastic bump.
putting us back under quarantine.
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
I was just wondering too, depending in what with all the other communities canceling their fireworks and the number of people that are gonna come here because we haven't, is it possible to like, you know, 'cause we're gonna have way more than we've ever had, and I know you guys mentioned, them shooting higher so people around here could see them from where they're at and whatnot, but is there a way that it could be a situation kind of like a drive-in movie where people don't leave their cars, just like they can do the fireworks, but we ask them to stay in their cars, and then that way, because there's no way you're gonna be able to enforce the social distancing whatsoever.
Well, and that's where I was going with the next one,
We
is
just
if,
have
if
to
they,
say-
with the
if the
bars
governor
anyway,
still
so
has us on lockdown, it might be one of those things, we just put it out there that we're gonna be shooting the fireworks up higher. You know, you can go on the surrounding roads, stay out of the middle of the roads, and
So
Yeah.
we end up, go ahead.
All the people coming from how are you gonna tell all those people they're coming from all over, those are the rules? You're not gonna be able to get to everybody. Even though people may can see it at their house, they're still gonna come over here. I mean, and the parking before has been crazy.
Well, I'm saying, we've
Just-
dealt with the high crowd volume of
It's been
people before,
crazy just
so.
with that high crowd. Have you talked to the parkers? 'Cause I've talked to the parkers the past couple of years. People are not polite,
No, they're not.
they're mean. I mean.
well, and we could just put it out there that there will not be, if it comes to social distance like that, we can have our parking shut off. Let them stay outside.
So we talked about that, but then where are we roping it off at? What are we calling the areas? And I mentioned this before and I'll mention it again. I strongly think that somebody needs to contact the Ogle County Sheriff and let them know that we don't plan on canceling at this point, and because they're going to receive phone calls and we're going to need help with traffic. And we're even short-staffed this year because we don't have all of the park employees that we typically do. So how are we already short-staffed
I will
supposed to
call them
direct
tomorrow.
traffic?
Okay, I was gonna say, it's not on.
Yeah, and honestly, we may even need to hire them to do traffic control
Well, then,
because
then we
just
gotta hire
aren't-
them. I mean,
We're not in a position this year
it's
to
gonna be rough.
manage a crowd of that size.
And is it worth
Right, and if,
Is it worth it financially to spend more money, and then at the end, none of us enjoy the night?
Well, I wouldn't say none of us, you were,
If we continue to do this, it's gonna be an all hands on deck, everybody.
I'll be there.
You're gonna have to be, we're not gonna have a choice.
What is my part, or my trustee for the...
Yeah, no, we're not gonna have a choice, it's gonna be all hands on deck, 'cause we're already down employees from the.
Sounds like a plan to me, I'm in. Rick, are you in?
I'm in.
We're in.
I
Bert,
don't
are you
wanna
in?
cancel them.
I don't disagree with you, we need to come up with, then between now and the next committee meeting, I need some direction. What roads are we closing,
It's
how
still my
are we
belief
doing
this was a major
traffic?
overreaction on the part of our state government, and that they've
Well-
taken enough away from people.
And that may be, but here's what we need. I need from you guys, what roads are we closing? How are we doing traffic? Who's gonna help
Well-
out with that? What are you guys gonna do to help us? We
What
keep
did we do
putting
last year? I mean, how you,
ourselves here.
what
I mean,
you closed
personally-
last year, how you directed last year isn't gonna necessarily change. Why would that change from last
So
year?
that direction covers exactly from Park and Lincoln into the field.
So,
We don't direct
If
traffic
you were gonna
down
close off
here.
anything, you would close off the north side of the old town. Close off Lincoln,
Yeah.
close off all the
Or-
side streets coming up, all the
Yeah,
way to Moody.
where are we pushing those people to?
or can we make streets one way, so they're
And
only,
That's why I said, these are things that we
Right.
need to figure out.
can we make streets one way?
It's gonna be on the streets to make them go the one
Right,
way.
exactly. If you just block them off, they can't park in there, they'll be on the major
Every
arteries.
street.
And then they can figure out where they're gonna stop and go. And if we can get Ogle County to patrol that up and down the major arteries, they should be able to keep things in check.
Yeah, as I said, we just need your help at this point. We need direction.
Does anybody have a problem with
guidance.
closing off the north side of the old town? I'm sorry, original
Original?
town?
What's the north side being Park and the field
From,
included?
right, the 14 acres, well, it's not even 14
So
acres.
it would be
whatever.
Park, Moody,
Mabel.
Maple, Elm, all the way, and then down here on Lincoln.
Why?
No, not.
Why are you closing off public streets?
Why?
To keep traffic from piling up in the side streets.
From-
If we're gonna do them where the people are gonna be high enough where they, again, this all depends if social distancing is still in place.
Well, then if it is, just people,
If
Well-
it's not,
then they have to respect social distancing, just like we're allowing to happen at the bar.
We
Same
have to-
scenario.
We have
So-
to plan as if it won't be, because
Yes,
right
it
now,
is.
the soonest date for the next phase is June 28th. So I would rather be prepared for the worst and end up with the best,
Well,
then
based
not
on,
be
based on the Illinois map, we should have already been out of this.
regardless, that's the date that we've been provided. So I would rather be prepared for the worst
Isn't
and
it,
hope for the best.
you know, I don't think we need to police social distancing. They can, if people.
They're adults.
If people, right.
We don't.
We have to say it to cover ourselves.
Well, we can, and I don't have an
Put it in
issue with
your-
that. I'm just saying,
put it
I don't
in-
think we need to
We
police
do.
it.
So here's my other concern, and I've shared this with Rick. Our insurance company has notified us that we have to comply with the local rules and ordinances and with whatever the state has decided, regardless of how we feel about it or how they feel about it. In order for our insurance to maintain coverage, we have to comply with what's in existence.
I don't have an
No.
issue with that.
Signs made, a couple signs while they're coming in the
Then we
park,
better-
just please social distance. Is,
You
Yeah.
And that's possible. Those are quick and easy to make.
You
cost
can
$100
throw them up
a
that
pop.
the IDPH requires social distancing of, or Ogle
Yeah.
County requires social distancing
Yep.
of.
So,
Please,
so
Please
where did you
comply.
want to close off? 'Cause you
I
said
would
north
close
side.
off, I would close off from Lincoln West
Okay,
and from 72 North.
okay. And then, so nobody's parking in the 13 acres, nobody's,
No,
all right,
you're just gonna solve a lot of problems.
okay,
If we're still social distancing, you're gonna keep people on the main arterial roads,
okay.
and they, 'cause if we start shooting them higher, they'll be able to see them.
All right, and then I'll ask the firework company if they will switch to just moving higher on the fireworks. They did send us a revised contract that I tried not to respectfully laugh at, but I'm not comfortable with. And so I'd rather just stick with our original agreement with them if possible as well, or cancel under those terms, not under the terms of a revised agreement. But I will ask them, or ask Nate to contact them and see if they can shoot higher, and then just let me know what the sheriff says.
Okay.
And my question is, if we ask them to shoot higher, is that gonna, dumb question, 'cause I don't know this, 'cause I know we talked about this last year, the last couple of years, with being in the flight path of the airport.
Not that,
I don't know.
that much.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I know before it was.
Yeah, I assume that the fireworks company will tell us
Okay.
if that's possible or not, but I
Okay.
don't think we're asking for any higher than they do the finale.
Right,
We're just
right.
asking for more higher.
Well, more things
Yeah.
off the ground and
Yeah.
not on the ground.
The truth is, just they're normal. You can see from your house. I mean, I sit in my backyard with a fire and I can see.
Cannot.
From your house, but from my house, no.
I was gonna say, I can't from my house.
I have too many houses.
Just pop
Well,
up on the
right,
roof.
'cause Willow Bend
Your house.
is uphill from
The
you.
backyard's
Your
open.
house is gonna be
I
down
mean, I
there.
park on
Oh,
Township
yeah,
Road,
just saying.
and I can see them perfectly fine, and plus we got the back road too.
Right.
Right, you've got all along Edson,
Yeah, if you close all,
utility.
if you close all of those roads, I guess the only thing we would need is 2 people to sit on utility, and then,
John,
the police department to help control.
Yes.
it's not a tough job. Sitting on utility's perfect for you.
Well,
I think
I'll
that's
let
a
you
great job for Chris and John. Chris did it last
I
year.
did
Good
it
view of the
last year.
fireworks.
know.
By myself, by the
And
way.
why'd you have to sit on utility?
I
We
don't,
were-
we had to
we were
keep the
short of
traffic.
people.
Because Fergie was scared.
Yes, it was their safety zone or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'll
The
let you
utility
know.
has to stay closed right behind the park.
yeah.
I'll let you know.
That's 'cause they were on that side of the pond, though.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, if we're blocking all those roads, we might be able to get them to move to this side of the pond, which would open utility, but we're gonna have to ask them.
Right.
So, I'll ask Nate to look into that and then report back next week.
And then we can put that out to the residents that the northwest side of the original town will be blocked off.
Is-
Fireworks, you know, if we can get the company to agree to shoot them higher, we can put it out that the company's gonna be shooting them higher. You should be able to watch them from home or on one of the
Somewhere.
arterial streets.
Will there be a way to, live stream these for those who just don't wanna get outside?
We have tried for the last 2 years unsuccessfully, but I will ask our trustee in charge of that to do that again.
Well, I mean, there's gotta be, with everything we spend on technology, there's gotta be a way to stream
That's a
that.
great idea.
Well, that way you would keep some people home.
Yeah.
Well, we have,
Even those that can't go, then that allows
At
them
least
to
they still
enjoy
can
this,
see
so
'em,
that's
you
a
know,
great
that-
idea.
There's an advertising opportunity if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I'll ask, the trustee who handles that, who's not here, to look into that.
Cause we can always buy equipment.
yes.
So we're gonna need all our barricades. What if the restaurants are not done using them?
How many did
So
we
we
loan
will-
out?
We,
What's a lot?
Just,
We'll go rent some then.
what, wait,
Or we could just go borrow them.
Or borrow them, well, no, cause then they
Can we
can't.
have them back? Can we have them back, please?
Well, we can always go rent some.
So that,
We
just
give money
throwing
away
it out
everywhere
there.
else.
John,
We loaned them out, that then either take them back or go rent
All
them. Why
right.
should our
When-
event suffer
if-
because we loaned out our barricades? It's a
Do we have
simple.
Well,
orange cones?
It's not a big
we have large
no,
vehicles.
dancing come out of the parks.
Do we have orange cones?
Yeah, we've got a handful.
That's
There
not,
we go.
Cones?
Worst case scenario, we could block it with trucks.
Cones don't stop anybody. I put 3 cones in front of my village hall only parking signs during large events, and all they do is move the cones and park there.
Well, at least they moved the
Cones
cone and didn't run
stop
over
no
it.
one.
no, they just drive right over the top.
That is exactly it.
We've got trucks and equipment.
Thank you for you.
Hey, park a backhoe there with the arm extended.
I got 32-foot.
All right,
Birds
I'll
on
talk
the
to Nate
ball.
and we have him get with the firework guy, and
Appreciate
Little
it.
mini excavator.
I'll bring our camper down.
We'll get Fergie the mini excavator playing whack-a-mole with
I
Yugos.
just think it'd be nice for all the village residents if we
Yeah,
actually,
right.
you know,
Hmm?
start to come back
Like
to
drive
somewhat
by,
of
jumping off
resemblance
wood
of
and-
a normal.
Vehicles.
I
Thing.
don't disagree with you, but I also don't want to upset our insurance company either, so I will continue to abide by the
Oh, I
rules
don't-
in which
I don't-
it's set for.
We need to,
Yeah,
just because that's what they're requiring.
and there's no problem telling people that. I mean,
Yeah.
telling people, hey, social
They're,
distance.
they're pretty used to it by now.
I agree about the residents, but all the
It's the
other
people
hundreds
coming
and
from outside.
all the other people that are gonna come here.
The non-residents.
That would go to
are gonna be-
Kirkland, to Rockford, to Rochelle, to Beloit, to all those places. So,
And what, are we doing them on the 4th again?
Third.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't know.
Hmm?
There'll be a day off.
Yeah, but everybody will be here. Nobody in Northern Illinois is still having theirs.
Oh, it ought to be entertaining. Jen?
Okay, and then on to the next item, the, electronics recycling
Well, that was
event
fun
that we
last
were
year.
gonna have, that we've discussed on canceling just because of the way things are, and our employees go into people's vehicles and pull stuff out, and we really don't wanna leave that stuff to sit and have to quarantine it before we get rid of it. So, that is something that we are not gonna do.
We'll just call it a riot and then we can get together.
I will continue to advertise for Ogle County's electronic recycling events down in Oregon though this year, and hope that that'll
And,
help.
you know,
They're still having it?
So they are going to attempt to have their first one at the end of this month, but they have, stringent rules in place this time around. If we have one, we have to follow the same rules, which is why we've decided not against it.
and we'll just see how it goes and if we can have one in the fall or something.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Whatever.
I run past the TV that's sitting in somebody's front yard.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Ogle County did post this afternoon that I believe the one on Kishwaukee Street in Rockford is opening up.
that's hazardous waste.
Yeah, okay, so hazardous
the
waste
paint
one is
one?
opening up, so I am gonna share that one as well. But Ogle County does have an event once a month on the last Friday of the month, and then 2 months out of the year it's on a Saturday. And so there are other electronic recycling events. We just did this one the last
In
couple of
Oregon?
years to bring it close.
Oregon?
To bring it close, yes,
In Oregon,
in Oregon, at the solid waste facility off of Pines Road.
The one at Kish is hazardous waste for the state pickup site.
Is that the paint,
It's,
oil?
it's at their water
Yeah.
treatment plant right there, but
Somebody
it is
just
for
beep.
hazardous waste, which would include, not
Hello?
latex,
Yeah.
but.
It's paint oil.
Hey, Billy.
Okay, it's paint, oil, okay, yeah.
Motion to let William
No latex.
Luxlinger participate remotely.
Second,
John makes a motion to allow William Lexinger to attend remotely. Jen seconds. All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed, same sign. William's attendance at 7:30, if you do a roll call.
William?
7:30.
I have not had an opportunity to get back to you, Jen. Earlier today, me, Byron, and Stillman Valley did schedule another meeting to try and get together and kind of discuss where each town is at, and hopefully try and put something together this fall.
Okay,
We'll see. I'll let you know.
okay, thanks.
I assume you also canceled the, garage sale, right?
We canceled that event that we were gonna do,
Right,
just because of the stipulations we are in.
but we still have the big garbage pickup on.
This,
Bulk waste pickup is still scheduled for June 17th. I confirmed that yesterday, so I will be advertising for that this week.
Okay, and then I also, Sandy got me the information on the farmer's market, this is the state stuff. Now, do we know, Sandy, if the county is doing anything different than what the state's doing?
The county is the one who provided me that information, and they said this is all they've got at this time.
Okay, so Sandy and I will talk and, when she gets back from vacation, and we'll try to get something ready. It's, some of the stuff that they are saying is they just want, the products that if they're available for purchase, they must be transported in containers that can be sanitized. They have to have 2 people in the booth, one assembling the orders, one conducting the transactions. They want credit only, or credit or debit, and cash without change.
For what?
This is for the farmer's market. They want all the staff to wear protective gloves and masks. They don't want exposed food. They don't want, customers to be able to touch anything until after it's been purchased.
Well, some of that would be normal anyway.
Right, but like if you have crafters who have things and they pick it up and they look at stuff, a lot of times the vendors will just put the corn out there and let you do your own.
Well, yeah, you're gonna clean the corn before you use it.
I'm just reading off the piece of paper what some of the guidelines are, John. I don't make the
I
guidelines,
know. Don't get me started.
so,
It's only corn.
that's just some of the stuff for right now, and they asked that it be displayed, like the signage on what's going on be displayed and stuff like that. So Sandy and I will get together and talk and hopefully get stuff out to some of our past vendors and see what we can come up with to start in July sometime. And that is all I have.
All right. Move on to finance, William.
I think most of this is from Sandy.
I'm gonna let Brenda handle it.
Brenda?
Okay, so you'll see Sandy put a nice bar graph together of the projected revenue and expenses. We have it's only $425,000 off, which is the cost of the water tower. Otherwise, we have a balanced budget. Any questions on that?
But being that that was a large capital project, we decided to take that out of reserve.
We are gonna take that out of reserves, correct?
Okay.
I have a question, and that's just because of how we're experiencing stuff. How much of a loss, if you could say, or a hit to us, have we taken in parks with not being able to have tournaments and stuff like that? I don't remember what our,
Well, we don't have, employees, and we don't have the concessions, so.
Right, but like, can
Concession
you-
is kind of a wash. Well, we're not really losing a lot for not having tournaments.
I'm just thinking like the money we would,
Would be,
But the concession
now that
and the
Nate's here,
employee, that was
right.
a.
now that Nate's here,
because
tournaments are
charging.
going to be charged
Right.
appropriately. So, we would have gained money, would have gained money this year.
Well, I just don't know like what we make on concessions, remember the ratio versus what we spend.
Concessions, is kind of a wash,
Right.
not including payroll.
Right.
Um,
I didn't think about it that
so
way.
really, concessions, we're not really losing anything.
Okay.
This year, I did have to, out of this year's budget, we have to pay, I'm paying back the baseball people, but I put that in this budget.
Brenda did make appropriate, changes to our revenue to show the lack of income for those
Okay.
baseball. So the revenue that you see here has been adjusted by Brenda based upon state numbers
Yeah.
and based upon our conversations of
Okay.
the numbers, like we knew we were losing concession revenue, we were losing, tournament revenue, those
Right.
types of things. Brenda had already removed all of that as
Okay.
revenue.
So yeah, this budget for parks is way different than it was the.
Right, I was just wondering
March
if you,
1st,
if
it was
you
way
knew,
different.
like, if we were really missing out on our spending versus
Mhm.
what we made and things like that, if there was a
But
big.
The parks is never really a money-making
No.
adventure.
Well, I just didn't know
It's not.
because we lost out on, obviously we pay people to work in the concession stand, but, the high
Yeah.
school games and just the spring tournaments and, I know, June's usually probably one of our biggest months for tournaments and stuff like that, just what we spend versus what we get back on.
Actually, next year will be a better, 2021 can't come soon enough, but, next year will be a better indication of what we could have had in 2020.
Okay, thank you.
So on that $400 and some odd thousand, this is during our utility discussions, the long discussions we went through about raising rates and stuff and creating the sinking fund for utilities. Instead of pulling this out of the general fund, if we had that sinking fund set up
What-
over time, that's,
I am working on
I know.
something already,
No, it's been a work in progress for a long time, we just don't have it yet.
well, we kinda do. We have those reserves already. There's a couple that I was gonna really just label the water sewer, because we have been putting that money in time, the past 10, 15 years, probably at least 10 years. We've been putting it there. So really, that's kinda like our sinking fund, and I'll just have to add to it this next coming year.
Start adding money to it.
Yep.
Why don't we just, since we're considering adding referendum questions to the ballot already, and there's room for 3. Sorry, since we're considering adding a referendum question, at least one already, that could be one you could consider, on whether or not people want us to, increase the water and sewer rates enough to cover the expenses for the actual utilities.
Hmm.
I don't know why you're laughing, I'm just saying.
It's a possibility.
I am laughing because I have spent 6 years, or six months out of the last 12, trying to get residents to come to a meeting to talk to you, posting on social media that this is the discussion we're having, and what you saw is what we got. And yes, I like your referendum idea, but you're only getting the percentage of people who vote,
Well, those
not
are the important
percentage.
people.
So I'll say it again, because it's something
Not
that,
true.
it's something that Marty Sheets said to me a long time ago when he was president of the village, before Cheryl, before Ken, the very first village meeting I ever attended, and he sat here and he looked at Charlie Brown and I and he said, "You two only show up when there's problems." And that was because we were new, we'd never been here before. So come scare us, by all means, we'd love it. We always sit here and wonder who it is and why they're here, and it'd be great to have somebody here just to know what's going on in the village, and actually get the facts, instead of what people believe on Facebook.
Besides, if you have a referendum question on the ballot, maybe it brings more people out to vote. A couple. What? It's possible, is it not? Maybe they think that's important.
It is absolutely possible.
I love your optimism.
I'm just thinking if you vote, it gives you power, right?
Tell him, Chris.
Gotta lean closer, John, I can't hear you.
I said, good, Chris, you tell him.
Thanks.
All right, anything further?
Yes.
Okay.
The next thing on there is the appropriations. As everybody knows, the appropriations is what we file with the county every year. And the appropriations are increased like between 15 to 20% depending on what department. I have this idea where things could possibly go wrong, so I put an extra 20% in. This year, the capital reserves, I had made that larger, 'cause William, I have talked about trying to pay off the IEPA loan a little faster. So
Excellent.
this will allow for 2 extra payments in that capital reserve fund. The motor fuel is what we're gonna be spending this year. The TIF, that's about how much we normally spend. And then, the water also includes that water tower, so this is the last time, you'll vote on this, we'll have our hearing, you'll vote on this, and then it goes away to the county. So, we use our working budget for the year, and this just goes to the county in case we have to go appropriations, then we will hold another hearing, which I hope we don't ever have to do.
We did lose our public tonight.
What happened?
He was here for planning and zoning. I talked to him before the meeting.
Oh, we scared him off.
So, as Brenda mentioned, this will need to be scheduled for a public hearing. I will schedule it for 6:30 I don't have any of my electronic devices available. Can somebody tell me the day of the admin meeting this month?
23rd.
So I will schedule it for 6:30 on the 23rd. Please be here for that. Are there any questions or concerns about this appropriations before I publish it? Because it does have to be published for 10 days before the public hearing.
Anybody have any difficulties with that date? Good to know.
We're running out of time.
We'll see you then.
All right, no questions on this appropriations before it gets published for approval?
Oh, on my calendar.
William, Dina?
No.
I can't, I heard William was okay. I didn't hear what Dina said.
Dina, did you say it's okay?
Yeah, I said I don't see anything, problem with that, no.
All right, I will go ahead and publish it and get it ready for public hearing then.
That's all I have now.
Okay. William, do you have anything further for finance?
I do not believe so.
We'll move on to Jared, Order Enforcement.
Nothing at this time.
John and Parks?
Everything's been discussed, I have nothing additional.
Dina, Utilities?
I don't have anything on the agenda, but I do have, something that, two things. One, I just wanted to share, I was asked by somebody the other day, my attending remotely all the time and whatnot. So for the sake of public knowing, or for the sake of others knowing, if they were wondering, I'm doing it on purpose largely because, not because I'm fearful or afraid or whatever like that. It's literally, we have an immediate family member that's undergoing chemotherapy, and if I don't try to steer clear as much as I possibly can, I cannot see her, and I'm not willing to do that right now, so I am distancing as long as I can. So just wanted to put that out there in case people are listening to the audio. It's not that I don't care, it's not that I don't want to be there, it's just that, like, for the sake of a family member, I need to help them too. So just wanted to throw that out there. The other thing that I wanted to mention, it was brought to my attention, and I didn't think about this, and Rick, you had gotten an email on it as well, and you might want to pull the email up if you can. So we approved that train, which, again, I'm kind of like over the trains, but at the same time, I get it, where we approved the train for the water tower, but if you look at our stationery, you look at our trucks, you look at everything we've got that has trains on it already, it probably would be a very, very great idea to have everything uniform, which shame on me for having not even thought of that from the onset. That probably could have been a really simple way to say, hey, this is what we have on our letterhead and on our truck. They're very similar, so like when Rick pulls up the images, they're extremely similar. But I don't know if it matters to everybody, because if it doesn't, then it's all good. But if it does matter to everybody, we kind of need to know before. I mean, I know we're not starting the water tower tomorrow, but I'm just saying we do need to know. Does that make sense?
Can somebody identify, because I think in the years I've been on the board, we've argued that we want to get everything to be symmetrical, but our business cards are different from the water tower, which is different from the letterhead, which is different from the trucks already. None of it matches now, I don't believe.
Well,
The
Right.
business cards and the business
So, I
cards
mean,
and the letterhead.
and that's what I need to know, like, if it doesn't matter to people, that's fine. I mean, I am fine with what we chose, but if it does matter to people, we need to fix it now.
I like the one on our letterhead.
So the letterhead, I don't know if William heard me. The letterhead and the business cards currently match. I believe our most recent truck may even match because I believe Jess had to provide the image. But I am proposing and asking this board, and Dina included, to use the one that's on our letterhead and business cards.
That's the bottom one?
That's
The
the
bottom
bottom one.
How are those spokes and the wheels gonna show up in the tower when they
Yeah.
get dirty?
That's the only thing I'm concerned.
You're gonna end up with a wheel that looks full.
Matt, he does have this image. I don't know if he could hear
Well,
John's
it's no
question.
different than the lines going around the top image. If you had,
Rick, can you repeat John's question so Matt could hear it?
Matt, John wanted to know on that lower image, if you have it, with the spokes, if once they get dirty and they fill up, but it really would be no different than if these lines right here filled up.
Right, and typically where the logo's gonna go, it's just not an area on the tank that should accumulate dirt. Most of the time, that's gonna accumulate on the bottom
bed.
portion of the tank.
Are you gonna be able to see those slotted areas? Are they gonna be able to get that detail that's on our letterhead?
I think once you send it to us and we can get it drawn into scale, we can determine scale-wise on the tank how thick those will be, and we can get kind of some idea of, what it would look like on the tank.
John?
That's fine.
All right. Is everybody okay then if we switch over? I think it's Dina's question. This
Yes.
is my question.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
All right, Dina, we're all good with the letterhead one if it'll work.
Okay, that's fine by me. I just wanted to, I never even thought about it, so, to be totally honest, so, yeah. And I think that's all I have.
Okay. Chris, did you have anything further since we went to you first and
No.
skipped over you down here at the bottom? All right. Anybody have anything on unfinished business? I'll move along. We have.
Can I,
Go ahead.
just really quickly, I was over in Rolling Meadows today delivering some stuff, and I don't know, but like they had, 4, homes, like all pulled out, and they were like, I mean, they had a tremendous number of lots empty. They had 2 last week, they have 4 this week that they pulled out and seem to be demolishing. I don't know if they are any of the ones that we were talking about, but just so you know, it was pretty hot traffic over there today. They were loading them up.
I can go and take a look tomorrow.
Okay, they had, so I think that's like 6 total, to my knowledge, anyway.
Just for the record, I just started the recording. It did not record at the beginning of the meeting.
That's okay, we have the
Are you
backup
serious?
audio here.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
I looked over, as I was listening to you, I'm looking at the speaker and the light's blinking at me.
No, we have 2 audios that recorded,
Good,
so hopefully the ones through here will continue.
That's all I had.
Way to go.
Dina, so just so you're aware, Brett reported earlier that they're pulling out about 12 trailers out of there that are old,
Wow.
beat-up trailers, and they're gonna be making the park nicer.
So they've only yet begun. Okay.
We have no public?
Are we gonna be mosquito spraying at all?
We gotta keep them.
They're coming.
We have our permit now.
We've got to get the rig in. I'll talk to
Right,
Nate
we
when
need
he's
to
back. It's got to be
calibrate it.
calibrated, and then, yes, so
Okay.
it will be starting.
Anybody from the board have anything further for the board or the public?
Sorry, there's one thing. We're gonna have an apartment opening sometime in the near future, just wanted to say.
Are we gonna rent it, or are we gonna leave it empty till we get this village hall space use study? Because I thought we were
We
just
should
We
gonna...
should wait till
Probably leave it
afterwards,
empty.
but
Yeah.
it will be coming, assuming,
Yeah,
yeah, all right.
it is empty though.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It is everybody's favorite month that comes twice a year. Closed session minutes have to be reviewed this month and, approved for release or to keep closed. Do you guys want to do them in closed session again, or do you want to try and review them ahead of time?
Review them ahead.
I'd like to review separately ahead of time.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, Chris.
Oh,
You were the one last time that couldn't make it into Village Hall before the deadline.
I can come tomorrow,
Well, I'm not ready, but okay.
stay.
All right, then I will plan on getting that information together, and I'll send out an email to everybody so that they can schedule times to come in and meet
You
with
gonna be
us.
ready anytime this week?
No.
So it won't be till after next week then?
I mean,
Uh,
since he's not here next week.
You won't
I'm
be
not
here.
here
Just
next
send us an
week.
email when
So
you're ready.
that's why I said, I'll send you guys an email. I'm almost ready. I got a few of the last minute closed sessions that still need to be reviewed, so as soon as I get those done, I'll send out an email. Life's busy these days, Jared. I am hopping from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, doing village
Amen.
business, so.
Anything further, board members or others?
Oh.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Jared makes a motion to adjourn, John seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed,
Aye.
same sign? We're adjourned at 7:50.